All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back with our third and fourth place finals between South Sioux City and Gretna. We're going to be starting this match off here in the beautiful, beautiful, lovely place of Havana here. This is a nice escort map, so we're going to be seeing that payload there, that lovely truck. That's going to be getting pushed forward as we get ready for this next match.
Oh yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do right out of the gate, because we've seen some clips where sometimes college teams will camp the entrance here, and it'll be interesting to see if they do that or if they hang back or what exactly the strategy will be, coming out of the gates.
For sure, and we've already today we've seen some very interesting plays both on offense and defense. One of the earlier matches from Division 2, we saw a team try to go through this building here just to get around and circumnavigate a bunker setup. But it didn't really work out too well for them, and they lost some time because of it.
Interesting. Yeah. There's a lot of different teleport strategies, which is something that we've been able to see from some of the teams tonight where they try to teleport onto point or behind and get that advantage early on. So, again, there's just a lot of options, a lot of different things you can do on this map in the beautiful city of Havana, like you were mentioning. So, I'm excited to see how this plays out.
And speaking of getting those versatile setups, you can see we've already got a couple of snipers setting up here on top in the defense. You can see we've got that Ana and that Widow getting the boost. We also got that Junkrat up top, and of course our sort of traditional tanks at this point, the Reinhardt and the Zarya teaming up there.
Yeah.
You can see down here on the offensive side, we've got that Diva and this Sigma coming in to push and get that shield going. But the rest of the team, I'm wondering where they're at. You can see we got the Widowmaker in the back there.
Widowmaker
the contestant coming in.
Oh yeah.
We're not seeing a lot of the other team quite yet.
Well, it'll be interesting.
There's the Baptiste as well. We'll come down here to the front so you can get an idea of what's going on the street view. You can see that Ryan coming in, getting some of those swings and trying to get a few more of those hits out of the way.
Of course, Sigma tried to get a rock throw down on Reinhardt, but unfortunately missed.
Yeah, the two big things that are definitely going to be a bit of a disadvantage for this Rhine is Sigma being able to use his ability to basically absorb those fire blasts that Rhine does, and the same thing with the Diva. Both of those are definitely going to give Reinhardt a little bit more of a hard time with that distance.
Especially when Reinhardt is trying to build his ult right now. I mean, half of Reinhardt's ult building ability is based on that fire strike because he's trying to stick back with the team and keep him up. And if he can't build ult from a distance, then he's going to be hard pressed with how much this team is breaking his shield right now. So.
And speaking of that ult building, you can see here we've already got some ults being built out. You can see Widowmaker throwing out hers.
Mercy literally just used hers on
yeah,
both
and
teams.
the Valkyrie coming out as well.
Oh wow.
And speaking of some more ults coming in, we got that Graviton Surge and that Dart coming in from Ana to help get some more offensive ults as well. We can see more ults being built over on the defensive side as well.
Widow pick on Widow pick.
Always entertaining to see one of those fired off here. And that Widow just doing an absolutely incredible job of nailing those sniper shots.
Mercy made a good decision there. She had the ability to res a player, but she knows that everybody's spawning. They're right in their spawn practically, so there's no point. Just go back, regroup, and get ready for the next push. Save that res for when you need it.
Exactly. And, well, that Baptiste definitely did help trying it out. It didn't really work out too well in the end. And we can see we got a couple of, we'll see if we get any new swaps with this next push to see if there's anything that changes for Gretna's offensive side.
Absolutely.
See here a few more ults getting built up. We've got Sigma Ultimate here, probably get dropped sometime soon, as well as that Baptiste ult. Getting ready for the right time to use that. The big challenge with that one though is going to be finding a good place to put it because a good majority of your team is back. You can see that Widow doing a lot of damage, but not necessarily able to use it as well.
We saw that Reaper just teleport top, probably looking to drop down and get some flank kills, but I think the Widow spotted him, shot him once, and kind of scared him off. So he returned to the team, fighting that Reinhardt in their back line, who...
See that Reaper ult here. Probably trying to find a good spot to use it, though. The question is, when is the good time to use that Reaper ult? Definitely using that Death Blossom and prioritizing the right time to see it.
Oh, yeah.
You can see that Junk in there trying to hold on to point just a little bit longer, getting in there and staggering it down. And already Gretna's down to 53 seconds to make that payload the rest of the way.
Mercy, battle mercying that Widow, decides to leave, stagger the player.
But the rest of the team's coming out front just to get a few more picks and try to contest that, hold it off just a little bit longer.
Absolutely. All right, so the Reinhardt battle here is interesting.
Definitely knocked out, but trying to push off just to shave a few more seconds away from that and get a few more picks. The Mercy, of course, having to be knocked back to that far spawn just because of that new loss of momentum and the gain of an objective point.
The Widow's placement for
South Sioux City.
South Sioux City has been pretty phenomenal this game. Trying to keep high ground whenever possible, trying to stay out of the line of fire of some key players, and so really just moving around the map with
Speaking
some
of
precision.
which, there's some
Doesn't see
good
the
moving
Reaper
right there, yeah. Getting out, but still getting a good pick off as well on that Mercy, which is definitely going to give a huge advantage. And you can see, actually,
Mercy uses res.
yeah, getting that
for
res,
Widow.
getting her back up and getting ready for some more snipes.
This makes sense. The Widow here has been a key part of their defense right now, picking off their Widow and any squishy headshot character that she can.
Definitely. It's given them a huge advantage in the defensive side of things. And I think is probably one of the reasons they've had such a good time being able to contest. You can see now with a minute and a half left, they are definitely stretching up. Gretna getting ready for another push here. But you can see South Sioux City's definitely got that defensive structure ready. They're all there around that payload. They want to make it as hard as possible to move in.
Looks like that Junkrat is kind of camping up top.
Trying to get a few more of those pot shots from behind.
Oh yeah, almost has ult ready, so that's going to be important for him.
And speaking of those ults, we've still got that Death Blossom from the Reaper, which I think we're about to see dropped. Oh, and a good sleep by the Ana there, keeping him from getting it out of the way right away.
If you're Reaper, you consider using it right now in between both of their supports, and wow, that's a great ult by their Sigma there.
Definitely, definitely.
Catches both of their healers in it and takes out one of them, removes them from play.
Definitely. Although, as well, you have to keep an eye out on the defense, though. You can see there's still some of that defense behind your offense. While they are getting eliminated, having them back there and not necessarily knowing where they're at, that's going to give the offense, that's going to give Gretna a little bit more of a challenge because they've got to be able to get around that and try not to get pinned between two opposing forces of defense.
Yeah, Reinhardt stuck here between another Rein and a hard place, shield low the entire game, so.
And you can see one more push here. And with 33 seconds left to go in the match, they're basically going to be contesting that point, pushing it all the way up, getting it as close as possible. And that's basically going to be the gain to the next objective here.
At that point, is it worth it to have your Zarya contest point or just save charge and get out of there?
Definitely save charge, especially with that ultimate percentage. You can see she's at 76% right now. Keeping her alive longer gives her more of a chance to back up, get some more picks, and also get a few more, get that percentage back up.
Gotcha.
Get you a little bit closer to that ultimate for the next round, and the next fight.
Maybe that was a miscommunication on their side or something else, but she's going to be joining the battle now, putting some serious damage. Both Reinhardt shields seem to be low, so Sigma will throw his up to give them a break, and the Reinhardt is able to put up his shield and stop any damage, but it doesn't matter because, wow.
He's still going in with that 5-stack, though. Definitely having that nano from the Ana is definitely going to give him a bit of a hand, but they going in there, getting it down. This definitely, there is the advantage for the attacking team with Gretna.
I think the only reason we didn't see a serious, well, almost team wipe there was the fact that they're running double shield right now. I mean, he downed one of their shields, and then Reinhardt was able to pick it up just in time to protect the rest of his team. Yeah,
sort of a waste of that ult there, I think. I don't know if I saw Ryan using
You did, and the Reinhardt for South Sioux was able to pick up his shield just in time.
For sure.
Yeah.
They're getting those ults back quickly. You can see this guy's already got his ready. And of course, we got that Valkyrie coming in now, as well as that ultimate from the Reaper. Always love to see it. Trying to get that shield spin, try and deflect as many
It's worth it.
If
you have high enough sensitivity, you might be able to pull it off.
You might knock one or two, but I think you're still going to get killed at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Although, I think in this case, though, they want that few extra seconds. You can see now it's getting down to 5 seconds. We're about to go into overtime with Gretna.
Absolutely. This will be completely vital as we move into the next round, because 5 seconds can be the difference between an entire match. So
for sure, for sure. And so at this point, it's going to become less about getting that team wipe, but more just about getting that team off of the payload, because like we said before, if that team gets back off the payload, that's the end of the round.
D.Va diving the back line and gets low, but then is sort of bailed out by their Ana to finish the round as they're on overtime.
For sure, for sure. And very, very close to that final objective point, but not quite there. That's going to be the big key difference going into this next round. You can see still had a little bit left to go. And so with that, that is going to give South Sioux City a little bit of a tiny advantage with this next push as they going into offense.
Absolutely. At this point, do you think any team is feeling confident, or do you think they're all pretty much on edge knowing that this could go any way?
Honestly, I'd say both teams should feel very confident. Obviously, for your first team, you've got the feeling of, yeah, we made a really good push on it. We've gotten it this far. Definitely a good job for South Sioux City on getting that push. But also, too, with the defense as well, an incredible job of making sure that they don't get to that final objective, still giving you a little bit more room to go, which does save a bit of time, and hey, now they don't have to necessarily worry about it going to a second round.
Absolutely.
We can see that defensive setup going in here. We can see that Widow coming up top being damage boosted by the Mercy.
One change to the lineup is the use of the Baptiste on defense, or...
For the healing,
no.
yeah.
I suppose that was the same, but last round it was South Sioux City who was on defense. For
sure. Yeah, we'll see now if you take a look on the offensive side of things, you can see we've got a Winston. We haven't seen a lot of Winston being brought out, especially now with the Reinhardt. This is a new comp that I don't think we've seen so far today.
It looks like a little bit more of a dive comp here when we have the Junkrat, the Genji, and the Winston half dive, half brawl almost.
For sure. And that's going to be a big thing for South Sioux City in this next round of fighting is will they be able to get those dives? Like you can see here, we've got that Winston all the way up there.
And the Reaper in the back line of South Sioux City right now, trying to take care of those
picks.
Healers, and boom, he takes care of both of them.
That's going to give Gretna a huge advantage for this.
Absolutely. We will see, and yes, the Mercy will go ahead and use that res on the Reaper, saying you've earned it, here you go.
And already, that's a huge reset for the team. That's going to cost them a lot of time because, well, Gretna was able to just wipe them back and push them back to another reset. You can see as well that Mercy using the res on the Winston. That might cost them in the long run. We'll see.
Winston hops top high ground, chasing healers, and he's just sitting on that high ground. He jumps down. Interesting thing about Winston, I mean, he has that burst damage and that steady Tesla damage, so he can output a lot more damage than people give him credit for. Against a Reaper, though, it's kind of a tough matchup.
Also, too, yes, because the other big challenge that Winston has is he's very short range. If he's getting in there, you're going to see him coming in from a long ways away. Yep. And having that advantage is going to be a bit of a challenge.
To make up,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, to make up for that lack of range, he is an incredibly mobile character, though. So we'll see how South Sioux City is able to adjust to make sure that they are zoning him correctly.
For sure. And you can see some of those ults starting to get set up. You can see Sigma ult, the ultimate there as well by the Reaper, that Death Blossom, and of course that Baptiste. All of those ults definitely going to be coming into play here with this next major push. Also, too, on the offensive side of things, you can see the Reaper coming in, possibly trying to get a Death Blossom. Didn't quite work out for him, though. Too many shields in the way to keep it from actually working out.
Absolutely. I wonder if he was baiting a reaction to a Death Blossom, seeing if he could get, one of the healers to pop a defensive ult in response, but decides to call it off just at the last second.
Possibly. Well, we're about to see. You can see him trying to sneak in around and get in behind. And looks like this is going to be an interesting fight. You can see that Moose Milk trying to back himself out as Winston.
And that's a doable matchup, but you just have to make the timing right and make sure you get the pick you want to at the right time there.
That Baptiste coming in very low on health and being knocked out.
Absolutely, accidentally falls off the high ground, and the Death Blossom goes off, critically everybody there, but only finishes off the Reinhardt, leaving the rest for the team.
And you can see here they're getting pushed back here. They're going to have to do a soft reset for South Sioux City, but that's okay. They've still got a good amount of time. They've got 3.5 minutes.
Despite Gretna kind of dominating on the first point, South Sioux City seems to be keeping up with overall push time. I mean, I don't see them falling behind by any means.
Definitely. It's been a very evenly matched fight so far, and I'm excited to see where it goes next. Speaking of going somewhere next, we got that push coming in. Those ultimates getting ready. We've got, of course,
Valkyrie ready.
Yeah, Valkyrie is ready. You can see that Nano ready from the Ana.
And Reinhardt is probably just itching to drop his Shatter.
Speaking of dropping the Shatter, I think he just did, but I can't tell if that actually landed or not. Doesn't look like it did, and if it did land, I probably missed it. But we'll see here. He's
Oh, what a pin.
That's a good pin indeed. Taking out one of the shields, the only shield back with defense, and getting some good
And at
hits
this point, South
for
Sioux
a
City
run
is
as
just
well.
going to charge in, too.
Definitely, definitely. You can see they've already got a lot more of a time advantage than Gretna did on this first push, which is going to give them a major hand in this last push because they'll have more time to get to that final objective. You can see that Riptire coming out, trying to get some people pushed back.
Didn't quite catch anybody.
Didn't quite catch anyone, but still helpful to get them pushed back and make sure that they stay off of that objective. But speaking of people on the objective, Reaper coming in, trying to steal off a few more seconds.
Absolutely.
And with that, he's knocked out and backed up. The Soldier coming in now, and you can see he's got his ultimate ready, as well as the Mercy getting ready to release hers. We'll probably see a bit of a teaming up between the two. I think that's about to come out here sometime soon with the Soldier.
I think the biggest thing for this Mercy right now is positioning. I mean, you don't want to get caught in a wrong angle where a Junkrat kind of has you pegged, so you want to make sure you're moving around and constantly making sure you're not standing still.
For sure, and honestly, all of the healers that we've seen so far tonight have been doing an incredible job with that positioning, making sure they're not staying too far back, staying too far forward, and being able to stay out of the way of those hits. You can see now as he's getting ready for the next fight.
Oh.
We're going to see that ultimate drop there, as well as the Diva Bomb coming in up top. It's going to be super high, though. It's not going to get a lot of kills. We'll take out the Ana, though, which is going to be a huge help for the healers.
Yep. And again, they pull back. They decide not to waste any unnecessary lives here.
Get some extra healing in there as well. They're going to go out with one more group charge.
Yep. 2.5 minutes.
And speaking of Diva Bombs, there goes the next one. That's going to get Mercy down, and that's also going to take out a lot of health there. You might not have noticed it, but it basically knocked the Sigma down to 0, did a lot of damage on that Diva as well, and that's going to give them a huge advantage with this next push forward.
And they're working on that Soldier too, but he dropped down his healing Helix, so...
Yep,
yeah.
basically.
Rocket Helix, but...
Yeah, and you can see South City getting ready to set up for their defense. You can see the Doomfist coming out. They're going to probably try and drop that here sometime in the near future. They want to be able to use it to get as many of the defending team with Gretna as possible. And not going to do a lot. It is going to get that Soldier out of the way.
Which, I mean, does Soldier have his ult right now?
He
was using it, so
he was using it. So
honestly a great pick for him.
Yeah, good pick, good usage of it. You can see them coming in. And speaking of that Soldier, they're going to swap that out for a Mei.
Probably better for contesting point, especially right now. They need somebody on, and nobody is able to get there.
And that's the round. South Sioux is going to take that game. So we'll take a look here and see what
play of the game was.
Yeah, we'll see what that play of the game was.
Although
and you can hear everybody clapping.
I have my suspicions.
All right, it was that Diva play. Let's take a look here and see.
Yeah, back line does crazy damage and then finishes it off by diving somebody in defense matrixing.
For sure, gets 2 kills as well as that immortality field, and then able to come in and get back in there to help with more of those picks and getting more of those knocked out of the way. Really good job of using that ult.
Absolutely. One thing that we saw a lot in there was, we've touched on it a lot tonight, but it's so important, is that idea of positioning and zoning, making sure that all of your players are in the right position and making sure that you're pushing the opposition's players into the spots that you want them to be.
Definitely, definitely. Good pushes and definitely great positioning by both teams as well. And I think ultimately that helped South Sioux City to get that first victory because of what they were able to do with it. So they were able to, because of those positions, they were able to stay focused on the point and able to get those points better selected for the next, and stay close, stay on it, and get a lot more time out of it as well.
Absolutely. Next map is going to be Lijiang Tower.
We'll give these guys a few moments here to get themselves ready, and we will get this next game going. I'm honestly really excited. Lijiang Tower is probably one of my favorite maps for competitive Overwatch. There's so many different opportunities for the play styles, and we'll probably see a lot more variety with this match, and it sounds like both teams are ready, so we're going to swap back over.
Absolutely. As a Lucio main, this map holds a special place in my heart. So
for sure, yeah. Both of these maps definitely have... Oh, it sounds like they weren't quite ready. I apologize. We're going to pause for a moment here and pop that. Make sure that everything is good. And double check to make sure. We might have accidentally dropped it too early. That might be a little bit awkward.
Is there a way to pause it?
I think there is a way to pause it. We'll just sounds like they don't need it.
We're built different.
We can make sure, just to double check and make sure. Double checking to make sure that both teams are ready to be going.
Alrighty. Yeah, as we move into this, again, the positioning is going to be important, but I mean, I'm expecting to see some environmental kills. We have some use of the Diva in there, and I wonder if anybody will be running a wrecking ball or run some sort of a dive comp to capitalize on the environmental possibilities of this map.
For sure, and all three of the stages with Lijiang Tower have a lot of those environmental options. You can see let's see here, with South Sioux City, you can see they've got that Roadhog and the Reinhardt for the shield tank. I'm kind of disappointed. Wrecking Ball is probably my favorite tank to use for this map, and I'm kind of sad that I'm not seeing it for either side.
Absolutely.
But
the swinging trapdoor is a great place.
Definitely, definitely. And especially, too, with the other two maps that we'll be seeing in Lijiang Tower.
Gretna starts out running that Lucio.
That Lucio's definitely given a big boost. Like you said earlier, those environmental kills, especially here on these ledges, you can see just a lot of vast, empty, open space that's going to give both teams a bit of an advantage. Going down the center here, going down the center and going in to get that first point. And you can see they got a teleporter down, which is going to get most of the South Sioux City team on early.
And Symmetra with that turret bomb strategy takes off and sheds a little bit of the health of Gretna. You know, trying to just get a little bit of an advantage going into the fight, but doesn't appear to pay off. The Mercy from South Sioux City spins as she's trying to get that res, and again, no avail there. So looks like Gretna's going to be winning this team fight.
For sure, for sure. And really good picking overall and getting in on that point. Ultimately was able to give Gretna the advantage and get onto that point and hold it. You can see all 6 of them are pretty much in the objective point and ready to hold.
I think the difference that fight was probably target priority. I mean, they saw the healers, they picked them off as soon as they could, and then they went straight to the DPS, knowing that, yeah, those two do have a pretty good ability for doing some damage, but not as much as maybe a Reaper or somebody like that might have.
For sure, and now that we've got South Sioux City coming in to try and contest that point, we're going to see what these teams are able to do. You can see them going a bit aggressive, trying to push them back out of that. And there's one of those environmental kills that almost
it's on a
worked.
Symmetra, yeah.
Yeah, she had that teleporter ready to go. She knew that was coming in, and she was able to blink out of that as soon as possible. Good use of that teleporter there.
Oh, Roadhog sees red outline and immediately tries for the hook. Luckily, he didn't get it on that Reaper. It may be a little bit more than he bargained for.
And you can see that Symmetra coming in around the side. The Symmetra is definitely going to be a huge tool that Gretna is going to be able to use in this next fight.
Reaper coming up in the back line.
Oh,
again,
yes, for
probably
sure.
Looking for...
trying to get in there, get some picks. You can see he's got the Death Blossom ready. So he's trying to find a good opportunity to use it. But we're going to see some
This might be the perfect opportunity.
And that's going to get some good picks right there.
That's a Metro Wall, obviously being the savior in this fight right now for South Sioux City.
For sure. Now that Reaper's coming back in.
It might not be enough here.
They're getting ready to contest. They've already got the numbers advantage, 2 to 5, 1 to 5. They're placing down a teleporter, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They're going to take that teleporter out very quickly, and just like that, Gretna's got the point.
Smart to res there. I mean, South Sioux City is already coming back, and Gretna doesn't want to go into the next team fight at a disadvantage of 5 to 6 with somebody coming back from spawn.
For sure, for sure. You can see most of the team for South Sioux City getting in here, coming in through that main door like we've been seeing before. They know that the other team doesn't really have a lot to counter going into the sides, but they don't necessarily want to risk it. You can see placing that teleporter, that's going to get them on the spot right away. That Sombra ult, though, getting a good number of hacks, trying to get some more picks out of the way as well.
That's Symmetra drawing some attention in the backline, and turret bombing is definitely going to be a contributing factor to winning this fight. However, the other is just Moose Smoke, who absolutely destroyed with his ult there.
And that's going to be a capture for them. This has been very good. A lot of back and forth between the two teams. You can see that South Sioux City is back on control of the point with 57% and gaining.
Great pushes. South Sioux City right now has 2 ults, 1 offensive, 1 defensive, and others are on the way, but none quite close to ready. They're going to try to zone off that Reinhardt, and they'll get him too.
They'll get him. They'll get him quick. Oh, and he's getting the res, though. That's going to be incredibly helpful for this next fight because...
if he can get back to the team.
For sure, but he's also got that Earth Shatter. Depending on how he uses that with this team fight, could be incredibly beneficial or incredibly harmful. You can see here getting a little bit more, trying to get some more of those picks. You can see that Mercy in the back line trying her best to escape from everything that's
Left
going on.
on her own. You really want to chase her down.
For sure,
If you can stagger anybody, you want to make it a healer, especially one with the potential to res somebody and bring it back into the fight.
Definitely, definitely. You can see now that Gretna's getting themselves reorganized. This is going to be close, though. You can see that South Sioux City's got 98% on the ult, and unless someone can touch it, that's going to be the first round.
There we go.
And South Sioux City is going to get the victory.
Is it Lijiang Garden, do you think, or?
I don't know. I'm excited to find out. Both of which have some really good differences between the two. Both have some really nice environmental factors. And all right, we're about to find out.
That Lucio cancel.
And we can see that both teams are getting themselves ready for the next fight. It is going to be the Gardens. I won't be surprised if we see that Symmetra coming out again. One of the techniques that I've seen a lot before is, of course, the teleporters coming in right here on this window, just dropping them down and plopping right onto that objective point.
Absolutely.
For sure. But we'll see what we get. No major swaps. We do have a Winston now on that defensive team from Gretna. We'll see if that helps out as well.
South Sioux City's Symmetra, named appropriately Uber, very good at transporting her team from place to place.
Speaking of that teleporter, there it is, getting everybody in and getting everybody onto that objective super duper quickly.
Looks like Gretna is going to be trying to adjust to that Symmetra pick with a Winston.
Although it doesn't look like it's going to help too much. Although who knows? Already the rest of Gretna's team's coming in to help out. You can see that May doing a good job of getting some picks. Speaking of getting a pick, there we go.
Incredible block there.
And it looks like it's going to be. I take it back. I don't know. This is very.
This is a close fight.
There it is. That's going to be Gretna to get the first control of the point. You can see that boop from the Lucio and the Frozen, knocking her right out. So that'll give a huge advantage to Gretna as they get ready. South Sioux City getting ready for this next push here. You can see that Ryan shield up in front just to help block some of that damage.
Remember that South Sioux City moving in here is short-staffed with their May, or who was it? Their Diva coming in from spawn.
For sure, for sure. And you can see now that that's been swapped off for that Roadhog. We'll see what the Roadhog can do. Already the Roadhog getting a kill on that Winston. Diva, of course, getting EMAC, and they're going to go in and try to contest that point. They've got the numbers advantage, 3-1, although it's starting to balance out now. You can see that Reaper ult getting just canceled by the Hog.
Wow.
Very good usage of it, and they are going to take that point away.
Hog has such ability to ult cancel. You know, the hook is a great thing, and the damage output alone on Hog is pretty impressive. The ability to cancel most squishies ults pretty effectively.
For sure, for sure. Now that we're getting that next push in, we're about to start seeing a lot of ults. You can already see the Winston ult being dropped here by Roos, getting back onto the point to start knocking some people off. The May ult trying to freeze some people and slow them down. Of course, we got the Mercy Valkyrie coming in to help get things going. And that's going to be a very quick push to get in and get that objective taken care of.
Absolutely. The ult economy on Gretna's side, however, not great. Using 4 ults in that last fight, and
we'll see if it works for them.
Yeah.
They're still holding on though. So, and with that, Gretna takes the point. This has been a very close match so far. You can see 42 on both sides as it starts to change forward. I won't be surprised if this is one of those rounds where both sides go to 99 before we get a final.
Absolutely. With only one shield tank, you got to be thinking about when is the best place for that Diva to use her ult and try to find a way to get and separate that shield tank from the rest of their team.
Definitely, definitely. And speaking of those ults, you can see that Monkey trying to dive in, possibly get some things from it. It's very low on health, and oh my goodness. Boop taking out the Roadhog there. Almost took out a few more, if I could tell right. Yeah. There's another one of those extreme shields there. Not going to help. And there's the Diva.
So many ults there. Wow.
A lot of ults. Although I don't think that mech helped out too much, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah. Maybe a lapse of communication there between the Diva and the Reaper, but I think their message was received.
So we can see we got a new swap coming out. We got that Farah coming in early, adding that verticality. You can see, we'll probably see her flying in, and of course getting damage boosted by the Mercy, that pocket Mercy. Definitely is going to help them out with this next fight. They're just going to have to be able to get in onto the point and use it. And the Maywall coming in just to block them off and stop them from getting in. But 98%, they're coming in, and they're coming in hard.
I'm not quite familiar with the meta right now. Is Pharah more of a finisher or just a damage dealer waiting for the tanks or the other DPS to come in and finish out any kills?
I believe more of a finisher, but I could be wrong. She's still holding in though, but as I say that, she's eliminated, and it looks like that might be the round unless they can get somebody in time. Nope.
Nope.
That's going to be 1-1, and we're going to go to a third match.
Wow.
This has been really good. I am liking what both of these teams are doing.
Absolutely.
Already, I'm seeing a Hammond swap for South Sioux City. We'll see if they keep it for this last round, but we'll find out, because you can see here with the tower, you've got this nice, lovely little pillar right there in the middle that is perfect for a Hammond Wrecking Ball, but it looks like they're not going to keep that Hammond.
That same pillar is so useful for especially Reinhardt's there, so that they can shield off sections of the point while still keeping the majority of their shield hidden by the pillar, so that less damage can be taken by it.
For sure. Seeing a few more swaps here, you can see we got a soldier, as done by Moose Milk for South Sioux City, and that Roadhog as well. Nothing really changing between the fights for Gretna, though. They're going to keep basically that same composition that we saw before, and we'll see how that helps them out as they go forward. Lucio coming in with that speed boost to get him a little bit faster onto the point, and our first contest is coming in here. We'll just have to wait for that control point to unlock and see where that takes them. Of course, the Mercy staying in the back, just trying to make sure the rest of her team is healed up. But that monkey's going to try and do some damage.
If you're Lucio, do you use that Amp It Up ability, that's primary ability, to get your team on point faster, or to save it and heal them up a little more in the middle of a team fight where it's so grouped up like this?
I think honestly it depends. Definitely using it right away at the beginning to help get your team in is always a good thing to be doing, but at the same time, you want to be able to provide those heals to your team when they need it. And so knowing when to swap between the two is a huge benefit.
Absolutely. The Moira in the background puts a little damage on and tries to draw the attention of Gretna. Backs up to the rest of her team and sort of zones it so that South Sioux City knows exactly where the push is going to be coming from.
For sure, for sure. And changing up that push as well, as opposed to from the front and moving it in towards the side. That's going to definitely change things up a little bit. You can see here, having that much more open space as opposed to a more enclosed area, that's going to give South Sioux City a little bit more of an advantage simply because they've got more space to aim.
An incredible amount of damage there. As soon as the Winston hops onto point, he is sent back to spawn.
You can see now the Reaper trying to get himself out of there before he loses too much. Not going to work out for him, though. They still got somebody on point. It's going to be that Lucio trying to hold on there, get a few more picks. But it looks like overall that's going to be another team kill. And, well, honestly, I think South Sioux City could get this very easily. They've done a very good job of being able to hold the contest, keep Gretna from getting too far in. So we'll see how this next round goes.
Absolutely.
You can see that Mei going around on the side, probably trying to get a flank in for that ultimate that she's got stored up. Of course, we also got that Death Blossom, and on the now defending side, the Roadhog's Whole Hog coming in. And speaking of that, Mei ult, there it is, going in right under the center of point. That's going to be huge. Get some more picks off, and that's going to do a lot for the defense or for Gretna and getting those switches off. You can see that Reinhardt trying to come in, trying to save it.
Oh, wow.
That he is
a charge play on that Lucio, removing.
And they're going to get that point.
Oh, yeah.
And that's swap right there. And good timing, too. You can see that South Sioux City's got 91% left to capture that objective. And if they don't get it, if they hadn't popped in sooner, that probably would have been game. This gives them another chance to keep going.
For sure. Mei making good use of her Ice Heal in order to avoid that Roadhog hook.
Also, too, that ice wall as well, being able to use that to keep them from getting onto the point a little bit longer. You can see they're starting to come back in now. And we're about to see a Diva Bomb. We'll see if that does anything. Too high up, too high up.
Too high up.
We got that Reaper ult, or that, not the Reaper ult, the Soldier ult coming in as well. Give some more assist and get a few more picks off.
Roadhog ult mainly just used there to zone, make sure people are staying off the point. And that might be exactly what they needed in this situation. I don't know.
We see that Reaper trying to come around, but that Junk Tire is going to stop him.
Diva almost makes it.
And that's going to be the game.
A valiant effort, but
South Sioux City gets the victory.
Absolutely.
You can hear everybody clapping. An incredible job by both teams there.
We'll see the play of the game here.
Yep, we'll see what that play of the game is going to look like.
That Genji play. Was that a 3-piece or the 4-piece?
I don't know. We'll find out. Let's take down here. We got 1, 2, and 3. And 4. So yeah, 4-piece right there.
Wow, 5.
5. Well,
Jeez.
4.5. That wasn't
Yeah.
quite part of the ult, but still, incredible job there. And I do believe, was that the second game for the second victory?
I believe that was the second victory. Yep.
Nicely done to both teams then. So with that out of the way, we're going to go into an intermission then. Congratulations, great job to both teams. We're going to go into an intermission. We got an interview here. We're going to go into a little bit of a short break while we get this interview set up. And from that, we'll do that interview. And then after that, we'll get ready for the grand finals between Platteview and Scott.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a good time.
Exciting stuff.
All right, and we are here with Brian Lee, also known as Uber from South Sioux City. So what do you think of the 2 matches that you just played?
They played well. We definitely struggled a little bit because we were messing around, not gonna lie. But they could have wrecked us if we kept on slacking.
For sure, for sure. Nicely done, for sure, for both of the teams. Would you say there was any strategies that your team had during those 2 matches that helped you out at all?
Press W.
That's a good that's a good strategy.
Press W and hope for the best.
Definitely, definitely. We definitely saw some really good picks as well with your guys' team. For example, you going in early with that, with those 2 teleporters just to get everybody on those points right away.
Yep.
And having those different picks. What would you say is probably one of the, if you had to guess, would you say there's any particular picks that you had between both matches that you think really helped the team moving forward?
I think when our DPS switched off of Genji into Soldier when they started running Mei and Reaper.
Okay, and just finding those good counters.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Awesome. And what would you say for Gretna's team, having gone up against them? Any words that you'd like to say for them?
Good game, guys.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, well, awesome. You guys did an incredible job. Nicely done. And, yeah, thanks for sitting down.
Yeah, anytime. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.